UDSM mambo vipi? Mnaendeleaje? Huh? Oh my God, you guys are so down. Sasa nilivyokaribishwa kuja kuongea hapa na wanafunzi, lakini wote ambao wameweza kushiriki kwenye tukio hili la leo la Ufaulu Project, nilitumiwa ratiba kwa Kiingereza. Na mimi nikaandaa wasilisho la Kiingereza. Nimefika hapa naona lugha ni nini? Kiswahili. Lakini sasa niko na wasomi. Sasa hebu mniambie nitumie lugha ipi? Niliokuja nawe? Okay, perfect. Kwa sababu najua niko na wasomi, lakini tutafanya kidogo, nasema code mixing au code switching? Code mixing, ili tuweze kuelewana na kwenda vizuri. Okay, so my name is Jokate Mwegelo. Asante. And I used to be a student here at the University of Dar es Salaam. I studied political science and philosophy. But even currently, I'm your fellow student. Mimi ni mwanafunzi kama nyinyi. Lakini I'm taking my PhD program at the Institute of Development Studies. Kwa hiyo, nimefurahi nimeweza kufika hapa na kuongea na wanafunzi wenzangu wa chuo kikuu cha Dar es Salaam, because I feel like most of you are students from the University of Dar es Salaam, correct? Yeah. Wangapi ni wanafunzi wa UDSM? Tunyoshe mkono hivi ni wafahamu. So a huge percentage of you are students from here. So, and I was given the topic, navigating the leadership journey. Practical lessons from experience, and say that I've been privileged and honored enough to be able to serve at different capacities, and I'm honored to be able to share my little experience with all of you present here. So oftentimes, leadership is romanticized. Mtu akisikia uongozi, kitu fulani hivi cha kupendeza. It is mostly presented as influence, recognition, and power. But in reality, leadership is a system of discipline, resilience, and daily decisions that most people never see. I stand before you not as someone who has had a perfect path, but as someone who made a decision early on in life that I would not wait for leadership to be given to me, but I would prepare for it, build capacity for it, and step into it when the moment came. And my fellow young people, that distinction matters the most. Because many young people are waiting to be chosen, waiting to be validated, waiting for the right time. Leadership, unfortunately, does not reward waiting. It rewards preparation. Na nilimsikia kiongozi pale kutoka CRDB alisema mmeambiwa kuhusu P ngapi? 5. And one of the P's was what? Purpose, but I assume there was also preparation there. So if it wasn't, let me add another P, that leadership rewards people who prepare themselves. 7 key points that I'll touch upon when it comes to leadership. And the first one is that leadership really begins with self-governance, or others would say self-leadership. Before you lead a team, an institution, or a nation, You must first lead who? You must first lead yourself. And this is what I call personal governance. Self-leadership is not motivational theory. It is operational discipline. Can you manage your time without supervision? Can you execute tasks when no one is watching? Can you remain consistent when results are not immediate? Many young people want visibility before they build capacity. And that, my fellow young people, is a structural mistake. When I began my journey, I've been in different things. Yani mimi ni hustler kabisa, hustler. Nimekuwa kwenye media, I've been in entrepreneurship, and later on in life, I had the honor and privilege of being in public service. And the real work was internal. Building competence, managing pressure, learning how to think, decide, and act under scrutiny. If you fail at self-leadership, any external leadership position will expose you. Positions, as is the case with money, wealth, do not create leaders. Positions reveal them. Tumeelewana hapo? Kwamba positions do not create leaders. Kama ilivyokuwa kwa majukwaa mengine. Yani kama mnavyosema, mtu akiwa na hela ndio utajua tabia zake halisi. Hivyo, mtu akikaa kwenye nafasi, ile nafasi haitamtambulisha, lakini ile nafasi itaweza kutufanya sisi tujue, je, yule ni kiongozi ama sio. And the second is, your platform is not a title. It is performance. Young people, we often say we don't have opportunities, and to be honest, kipindi ambacho mnasoma nyinyi chuo, naona opportunities ni nyingi sana kuliko kipindi ambacho tumesoma sisi. Sisi tulikuwa tunasoma, kulikuwa kuna chumba pale cha academic nadhani guide. Mimi nimesoma miaka 3 sikuwahi kumuona. Na sikuwahi kupata mwongozo wowote wa mtu kunishauri, hata ukiwa na wazo pengine la kibiashara, mtu kushika mkono kukwambia taasisi fulani ya kifedha inaweza kukusaidia na kadhalika. Kwa hiyo, today you are very fortunate that you have opportunities. You have platforms, but you underestimate them. Na niseme tu, one of the key platforms that you have is your classroom, your workplace, your community. But the real question is, what do you produce from where you are? When I served in public service, in public office, the expectation was not presence, it was results. Increasing economic activity, improving service delivery, mobilizing communities, and solving real problems. And here, I can insert an example where, as the district commissioner for Kisarawe, in a district where education was not really a priority, especially for young females, we took it upon ourselves to build the first girls boarding school, ambayo ile shule mpaka leo hii ina wanafunzi zaidi ya 1000 ambao wanaanza kuanzia kidato cha kwanza mpaka cha 6. Kwa hiyo, what is my point here? My point here is, leadership credibility is built through outcomes, not intentions. You can have very clear intentions, but if you cannot translate those intentions into outcomes, then your credibility is at stake. But also, if you want to compete locally or globally, you must develop a results-oriented mindset. And that means deliver measurable impact, build a track record, let your work speak consistently over time. Incompetence fade, evidence remains. Siku zote kwenye maisha yako utambue kitu kitakacho kutetea. ni matendo ambayo umeyafanya. Kazi, matokeo ya kazi yako. Na sio kile ambacho ulidhani ungependa kufanya au ulitamani kufanya, lakini kile hasa ambacho ulifanikiwa kukifanya. Lakini my third point here is resilience is not optional, it is structural. And here let me be direct. If you choose leadership, you are choosing pressure. If you choose leadership, you are choosing pressure. You will be criticized. You will be misunderstood. You will be tested beyond your comfort zone. When I entered public leadership at a relatively young age, scrutiny was just not professional. It was personal. People watakuchambua yani kama karanga. Unatoka na nani, umelala na nani, umeamka na nani, umekula nini, umefanya hiki, umevaaje, yani scrutinization is inevitable. So every decision, every action and every result was questioned. And I remember when I was first appointed for CCM's youth wing back in 2017, I was met with public scrutiny. The next day I was on the front page of a newspaper. And even back when I was appointed as DC for Kisarawe, I was vilified and publicly, scrutinized. And I remember it trended the entire week ahead of my being sworn in. But amidst all of that, I thought I had two options. The first one, do I withdraw and confirm? Or from this, do I build resilience and lead? Resilience is not about ignoring criticism. It is about filtering it, learning what is useful and discarding what is noise and continuing to execute. If your confidence depends on public approval, leadership will destabilize you. You must anchor yourself in purpose and not popularity. At times you will have to make tough decisions that might not necessarily be popular. But as a leader, you have to make those decisions. So it's important to know that leadership is not a popularity contest. You are called to lead, so lead with purpose, even amidst times of criticism, times where people don't fully understand your vision. Your job is to educate them. But again, as I said, filtering criticism allows you to see what actually makes sense, what doesn't, things that you could apply or reflect on to further sharpen the vision that you have for the people or the institution that you're leading. Number 4, something that we definitely need to touch on is competing in today's world requires strategic positioning, and this is very important, especially for you young people. We are no longer operating in local-only environments. You are competing in a global system, and this is whether we like it or not. There's a famous saying that says, the only thing that is constant in life is what? Change. Change is the only thing that we know for certain is constant. So this means three things. First, your competence as students of the University of Dar es Salaam must be world-class. Skills are no longer compared within your immediate environment. They are benchmarked globally. Second, visibility must be intentional. In my journey, communication has been a strategic tool, not for noise, not for popularity, but for narrative control, public engagement, and accountability. I aligned my online presence strategically to get the results I wanted. And this is so important for you young people. Your digital footprint. How does it look like? What do you say online? Is what you post and say online reflective of who you are? Not necessarily today, but of the person you want to become tomorrow, in the future? So it's very important to position yourself strategically. And let me tell you, social media is such a powerful tool. Most of my campaigns during my leadership years were impactful because I managed to use social media to reach out to people and get a huge response and get people who, became part of the movement, and I saw tangible results. So my fellow young people, it's very important that when we talk about strategic positioning, let's all reflect on how we use social media to better align our online presence with the goals and aspirations and the dreams that we have for ourselves. But third, network matter. Exposure to different systems, leaders, and ideas sharpens your thinking and expands your opportunities. I am currently a part of Club de Madrid, which Young Decision Makers, which is a network that enables me to get access to former global heads of state and heads of government. You're talking about presidents and prime ministers, and an array of young people who are holding different public positions across the globe, and with a specific focus on the Global South. So my fellow young people, do not isolate yourself. Position yourself. And you being here today is just a testimony that you guys are already in that motion. You're already trying to position yourself. You're availing yourselves to networks such as Ufaulu Project. You're availing yourselves to opportunities offered by UTT, CRDB, and you're not living isolation, which is very important in this day and age. But number 5, leadership is service, but it is also execution. There is a tendency to reduce leadership to slogans. Save the people, create impact, empower others. Yani hizi inakuwa ni misemo tu slogans nyingi, yani kila mtu anabuni slogan yake. These are important. But without execution systems, they remain rhetoric. Si mnafundishwa rhetoric kwenye philosophy. Kwa wale wanasoma philosophy. Real leadership asks, what problems are you solving? What systems are you improving? What measurable change are you producing? For example, in youth empowerment, it is not enough to speak about potential. The question is, are young people accessing capital? We've seen through our government officials that they're offering, loans and etc. Are they gaining employable skills? Are systems enabling or constraining them to move from ideas to implementation? And I'm very proud to say that today we have leaders from government representing the President's office, multilateral organizations. I saw UNDP was present here, financial institutions such as UTT and CRDB. So essentially from these parties, we can leverage to understanding how we could better foster this impactfully. It's never enough to just talk, but how do these systems actually support young people to meet their full potential is key. Number 6, build credibility early and protect it aggressively. Your reputation is your long-term asset. In leadership, trust is currency. Once people trust your judgment, your consistency, your integrity, they will give you space to lead. Without trust, even your best ideas will face resistance. For young leaders like yourselves, this means deliver on what you promise. Be consistent in your values. Avoid shortcuts that compromise your integrity. Credibility compounds over time, but it can collapse very quickly if mishandled. I remember there was a point when I was district commissioner, nilikuwa mkuu wa wilaya Temeke. Niliweza kusuluhisha mgogoro ulikuwa ni mgogoro mkubwa sana. Barabara ilikuwa imefungwa, wananchi kuna kitu kilitokea, wamefunga barabara kwenda kusini kule Mbagala. Kwa watu wanaokaa Mbagala hapa kama wapo wanajua ile barabara. Ilivyoenda, wananchi walikuwa hawajamsikiza mtu yoyote siku hiyo. Kitu pekee kilichonisaidia mimi kutatua ule mgogoro na kusaidia kufungua ile barabara, wananchi wakasema, wewe tunakuamini kwa sababu tumeona kazi zako Kisarawe, tutakusikiliza. Kwa hiyo kama kiongozi usipojenga imani kwa watu unaowaongoza, itakupa shida kubwa. Na imani haijengwi siku moja. Kama nilivyosema hapa, it compounds. Credibility compounds. Ni matendo yako unayofanya, maamuzi unayochukua kila siku ya maisha yako. Inafanya watu kuwa na imani na wewe, watu wanakuwa hawa doubt chochote kinachotoka kwako. Na hilo, ndugu zangu, ni asset kubwa kuliko hata fedha na mamilioni na mabilioni ya fedha. Kwa sababu ukiwa na imani ya watu unaoongoza, malengo mnaweza kuyafikia kwa wakati. 7 and last, the future who combine two things: vision and discipline. Many of us, even myself at times, we have a vision, we have a dream, we have a place that we want to go. But few of us have the discipline. Vision without execution creates frustration. Hivi mwae kuona kwamba una kitu unataka kukifanya, inaenda miaka hakitimii, kidogo kinakuchanganya hivi, unakuwa frustrated. Lakini on the same note, execution without vision creates stagnation. So you must integrate both. Where do you want to go? And what are you doing daily to get there? Leadership is not built in one moment. It is built through repeated, disciplined action over time. Na nilivyokuwa, nadhani wiki mbili zilizopita, nilialikwa kusema kwenye Uongozi podcast, niliwaambia katika hili kwamba hata mafanikio sio tukio. Success is not an event. Yani sio tu kitu cha siku moja kimehappen afu kimeishia pale. No. Build yourself. You have to understand, maamuzi unafanya kila siku, kila wakati, on a daily basis, itakusaidia wewe kuweza kujianka kwenye masuala ya uongozi. So in closing, wanafunzi wenzangu, to every young person here, do not wait to be ready, prepare. Do not wait to be chosen. Position yourself. Do not fear competition. Build competence. And most importantly, do not underestimate the power of leading yourself first. Because the truth is simple. If you can master yourself, you can manage responsibility. And if you can manage responsibility, you can deliver results. And if you deliver results consistently, leadership will not be something you chase. Hutakimbiza uongozi. It will be something you attract. Watasema yule anafaa kutuongoza, yule akae nafasi hii, yule kwa nini hamjamfikiria yule. So I hope we will become leaders of purpose, but most especially we will become leaders who can deliver results, and not one-off results consistently. Baada ya kusema haya maneno mafupi, nawashukuru sana kwa kunisikiliza.